Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the Sati video for Saturn transit into the sign of Pisces. So, Sati, as you know, is the transit of Saturn, which is calculated not from your ascendant but specifically from your Chandra Lagna, which is your moon sign, which is also known as Rashi. So, in general, in India, if you hear, oh, my Rashi is this, my Rashi is that, that is your moon sign. And in the West, generally, if they say what's your sign or what's your zodiac, then they generally mean sun sign as per tropical astrology. But today we are talking as per Vedic sidereal astrology and not ascendant, not lagna, not rising. We are talking of moon sign. Disclaimer: moon sign, moon sign, moon sign. All right. So if you do not know what is your moon sign, you can go to astrosage.com and you can make your chart for free and you will know your moon sign. All right. So now, as you know, Sadesati is the transit which is calculated, is the transit of Saturn, which starts when Saturn transits the 12th house from your moon and then on top of your moon and then the next house. Okay, so 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So around 7.5 to 8 years of transit of Saturn in relation to your moon in your original birth chart. Okay, not in transit, your original birth chart. Now, there are four ascendants who will be impacted by this, but there are three signs, right? So how in the universe is it possible that four signs are affected by it? Well, guess what? The first sign who will be impacted is the sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn moon sign, congratulations, your Saraswati is over. Okay, so Capricorn moon sign, if your moon is in Capricorn, so now here you see in this diagram, so number 10 is Capricorn. So here, if your moon is in Capricorn, then Saturn has moved to the third house. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 houses away from Capricorn is Pisces. So your Saraswati is over. So you are the first ascendant who is getting impacted by this. Now, impacted in a positive sense, because now your Saraswati is over. So what happens when your Saraswati is over? So Saraswati, as you know, is in general a difficult phase where things become a bit tough in your life and you have to work more hard and shortcuts don't work. So now, Capricorn moon sign, you have got a lot of lessons from the last 7.5 years, and I know Sadesati lessons are not easy. It's never easy. Okay, so if you feel that you have learned a lot of lessons willingly or unwillingly, knowingly, unknowingly, directly, indirectly, either ways, if you have become wiser, which I'm sure you have, then don't screw it up. Don't just go back to square one. Don't go back to where you were 7.5, 8 years back, because if you do that, then there's no use of this period. Okay, you will be like, okay, you may not have Sarasati now, but please understand, this is a period of utilizing your lessons that you have learned. So therefore, if you feel that you trusted somebody and they did not stand your back, they did not support you when you required their support, then now is the time when you should not go back to them. You should not go back and expect the same crap from them. Okay, because Saraswati has taught you lessons. So now it is the time that you keep those lessons close to your heart and close to your brain, of course. And then when you have these lessons, then you will understand that now my life will become better. Now I can become a better person, basically. So if you have got some valuable life lessons, it could be in any area of your life, depending on which dashas you were running in the last 8 years, which mahadasha, which antardasha you were running. You might have got a lot of lessons. So now build your foundation on top of these lessons. Okay, it's very important, because otherwise what happens, we will again suffer when the next Sarasati comes after 22, 23 years. uh, yeah, either ways, you will feel that yes, again the same lessons are coming after 2.5 decades. So if you want that this does not happen, then you need to understand that I have to now not do the same mistakes which I did during my Sarasati and before even my Sarasati began. Generally, Saraswati is a time of cleansing. So all the nonsense that you did, you pay for it before, and also during the first phase, whatever you did, that also kind of comes and haunts you. Okay, so therefore, if you feel that there are areas where you did grave mistakes, and most importantly you took shortcuts and you learnt lessons, please do not do them again now, because now if you do it, there are two things: you will again suffer in your next Saraswati, but even more than that, the next Saraswati is a bit far, but even if you do it now, tomorrow morning you will still die of guilt. Okay, so therefore, if you continue to do this, you may feel more and more resentment inside, and it's like saying something inside, and then you are doing it. So this means you are only going to make a fool out of yourself. So therefore, keep a note of all the foods that you have eaten, all the friends, all your colleagues, all your family members, your spouse, your children, your parents, everybody. Okay, and once you have seen, try to rate everybody. Now when I say rate everybody, I don't mean you feel you are superior to others, and now I will rate my friend, how good a friend he or she has been. No, not in a egoistic or in a sense of superiority, but you have to rate them in terms of your relationship and their reciprocation. Okay, so if you feel that you help them a lot, but they did not help you back, even when they could, no, so then maybe you have to understand that they will not help you again ever. Okay, so therefore, and along with that, within these 8 years, if you have seen that you have some friend or relative or somebody who has tried to do wrong to you, then maybe it's time you cut them off from your life. Okay, and yes, please take lessons. As I said, rate everything and everybody in your life. Like you are going to the gym, you are doing some yoga, you are doing cardio, or you are doing some dieting or whatever. Either ways, if you are not, if you did not see results, then now it's the time to change. Okay, so it's like a valuable lesson. So take the lessons and move forward, Capricorn moon. All right, take care. Now we go to the next ascendant, Aquarius. No, actually, now we go to Aries. Okay, why we go to Aries? Because Aries moon sign, your first phase of Sarasati has started. As you are seeing this video, the first phase has started. So, what does the first phase do? So, well, I would insist you to see my Sadesati webinar, which I did like a few months back. Not webinar, sorry, it was like a video which I made for another channel. So, nonetheless, you are in the first phase because your moon is in Aries in your birth chart, and Saturn is 12th from your moon, which is now in the sign of Pisces. So, this means it is imperative you become prepared. Now, when I say you should get prepared, it does not mean in a derogatory or in a fearful sense, but it means now you have to realize that certain things which have always been working, they may not work now. Which means, suppose you are lazy, or suppose you are lazy still. You are lazy, and you think, okay, somebody else will do it for me. Guess what? Now they will not pick your phone. Now they won't do it for you. Now they won't do it for free. You have to pay. Okay. Now pay not just in terms of money. Anybody can give money and pay, right? It's not very difficult. But pay with something else, pay with your mental health, or pay with certain taunts that you will hear. Okay, so suppose let's talk with an example. You are Aries moon and you are a man. You are 25 plus and you are sitting in your home. You are doing nothing. You are watching TV. Now when I say nothing, I don't mean you are not doing job, but you are like literally doing nothing, and you are just sitting and wasting your time, your life. Now what could happen is, your father and your mother, okay, or whoever is the bread earner in the family, now they will start to taunt you. They will start to tell, अरे क्या कर रहा है, बिना कुछ किए बैठा रहता है. They will tell all this. कितना टीवी देखेगा, कितना मूवी देखेगा, कुछ कर ले जिंदगी में. Like you're playing computer games, chilling with Netflix and all. So you will now get to hear from them. लोग सुनाने लगेंगे आपको. And that is actually good for you because Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn represents the knees, right? घुटने घुटने. That is why they say अपने घुटनों पे खड़ा हो गया, अपने पैरों पे खड़ा हो गया. Okay? What does this mean? This means you develop sufficient strength to become independent in life. Okay. So now, if you are taking somebody for granted, like suppose you had any problem in life and you called your friend at night 2 o'clock without considering his or her schedule, you ruined their night sleep. And you were like, I'm least bothered. He's my friend, of course. She's my friend, of course. He or she has to um, give time to me, right? I demand that. So if you have this kind of an arrogant mentality and arrogance, this kind of an attitude, then now they will tell you, hey, I cannot talk at 2 a.m. in the morning. If you want to talk, you have to call at 9:30, and by 10:30 I sleep. So they will tell you. So suppose you are a student, okay, you are around 15, 16, 17, or whichever age you are, and you are watching this video. I know many students also watch my videos. So suppose you are a student and you cheat, you study the previous day of the exam, okay, you do all nonsense. I mean, there are a lot of things which students do, so I will not get into the details. But suppose you are smoking cigarette, you go to some tuition, and then you are going and indulging with members of the opposite sex there instead of studying. You are doing some nonsense. Then now you will be caught. Okay, so Aries moon sign. If you are doing anything which you should not do, be prepared to face the law. Be prepared to face humiliation. But suppose you are a good student, or you are working in the company, and you do wrong things to go high in the ladders of corporate, then you will suffer. But suppose you are a good person, you are responsible, and you are duty bound, you are kind, you are compassionate, then this will not affect you much negatively. Okay, but in general, now you need to be prepared because shortcuts will slowly start disappearing. All right, and you are all by yourself. Don't forget that. Now you still have others now, but by the end of the first phase, by February 2028, you will be all by yourself. All right, so please step your game up and learn to become responsible. Otherwise, you will perish. All right, when I say perish, I mean literally. Like, you may perish. If you are lazy in your job, you may be fired anytime. Okay, if you are doing wrong things in your relationship, you are cheating on your spouse, then well, that's it. That's the end of your marriage. Okay, if you are doing wrong things to your health, you may have some terminal disease. So yes, I am creating legit fear for you because I don't want you to suffer. Now, if by hearing all this, you want to write in comments, oh, he's creating fear, he's a fear monger wanting to sell his consultation services, well, you can write. I have no problem because you are the one who will suffer, not me. Okay. So I hope you take this in the right spirit and you improve your life, because if you become responsible and you take your life seriously now, you will go and write articles. What is this Sadesati? This is nonsense. It does not have any effect. Yes, because it will literally have no wrong effect for you. But if you don't do like that and you do everything otherwise, then well, you will be searching 10 remedies of Sadesati, 20 Sadesati remedies, 50 Sadesati remedies, and guess what, none of them will work. Okay, very, very, very important, none of the remedies will work. So do not destroy your life and please take life seriously. All right, Aries moon sign, take care. Now we go to Pisces moon sign. Now, what's going on, Pisces? Your second phase of Sadesati will begin. Now, what is second phase? Second phase means your moon is in Pisces originally in the birth chart, And now Saturn is directly on top of your moon. Okay, so this is like Saturn's second phase has started. Now, you know what is the first phase, right? First phase shows things like where people are not supporting you anymore, and you realize this. So, by the end of 29th March, you would have realized that yes, I am all by myself. This is the realization that you get when the first phase ends, and your first phase has ended, and now you are in your second phase. So now if you look and ponder last 3 years, you realize, oh, I tried to take so many shortcuts which had always worked, but now it doesn't work. Why does it not work? Because it's Sadesati time. Guess what? It's payback time. So you have realized all this, and now you are like a blank paper with a pen or with a pencil. And now it is your time to write history. Now, when I say write history, I don't mean, you become some president of some country or, prime minister. I don't mean in a political sense, but it's time to become the writer of your own life. So now you have to build everything from scratch. So, for example, if you lost your job because you are lazy, or you are gossiping, or you are not performing well, you are not you are intentionally not working. So now maybe you can look for a new job, but understand, now you have to build things from scratch. Just because you lost your job, it does not mean the next job will be easier. Okay, it could be even harder. So now you will not have the luxury to be lazy anymore. Now you have to work. The first phase usually goes in getting these realizations, but now you have the realization. So you have to be serious. So look at every area of your life. With your health, maybe you got some disease which was revealed in the last 3 years. So now you have to work, you have to take the treatment, you have to solve the disease. Okay, so now it's the cure part. And that is why there's a proverb, prevention is better than cure. But the problem is, in the material realm, we do not take precautions to overcome, to stop the disease, right? Even before we get it. So we first get it and then we try to cure it. Okay. So now, whatever has happened. You cannot change it, my dear sir, my dear madam. But what you can surely do is, you can now become serious about life. And see, you have to understand that this is a very big realization you will get in the second phase, which is during this phase. In the next 3 years, you will realize you also have a lot of limitations. Like, for example, you have your own business, and you decided that I will earn $1 million in the next 3 years. By next 5 years, I'll earn $1 million every year. Or maybe if you are very, very, very good with your work, you may also earn $1 million every month, okay, or every week or every day. But nonetheless, depending on your situation, you have to understand that now you will see certain realities which will force you to think about your own expectations. So on one side, you realized I am all by myself. And on the other side, you may realize, oh, I may not be able to do this because of, I don't have a marketing team, I don't have an assistant, I don't have this, I don't have that. So it is not that you cannot do it, but you have to build things from scratch. And these 3 years, you have to build your life. The first phase is about stopping things that you are doing wrong and getting realizations and trying out new things. But the second phase for you is, it is like, you build every single thing that went wrong in the last 3 years or 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. And when I say build, I don't mean, just like sort out your problems and just do things which everybody does. No, I don't mean that. Nor does it mean you have to do something very unique which nobody has ever done, some rare invention. No, it just means you now have to take things seriously, keeping into the limitations, keeping the limitations in mind. For example, suppose you are a software developer and you want to open your own company. Now, you may be good in coding, but you may not be good in advertising and marketing. So you have to hire somebody. So that is a realization. That is a limitation. You are not good at everything. And guess what? Nobody is, not even, Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. They are good at everything. Okay. Very rarely does it happen. So do what you are good at, but then there are other areas in your life where you may not be the best. Okay. So there you have to take help. You have to take help from others. Okay. So don't shy away and take help from them. Okay. Whenever required. So in short, Pisces moon, life can be tough depending on your Mahadasha and your Antardasha. But now you have to realize that I have to be completely honest with myself, and only then I have to move forward, and I have to, yes, I have to do things that I always wanted to do, but I cannot do everything alone, and that's a reality which you'll realize. Okay. So take help from people, pay them if required, but do not be dishonest with others and especially with your own self. All right. Take care, Pisces moon. Well, now we go to Aquarius moon. So, Aquarius moon, finally, your second phase, which is the most difficult and the most dreaded phase of Sadesati, has ended. And your third phase has started. So, yes. So, third phase of Sadesati, which means moon is now in the next house. Saturn is now in the second house from wherever your moon is. So, your moon is in Aquarius. So, now Saturn has gone to the next house, which is Pisces. So, now, what is the difference between the first, second, and the third phase? The first phase was when Saturn was in Capricorn. Then the second phase was when Saturn was in Aquarius. And now, as you are seeing this, Saturn has moved to Pisces. So now it's your third phase. So the first phase is realizing that the shortcuts will not work. I have to become sincere. But it is a phase where you start getting those realizations, but you don't realize it completely. By the end of the first phase, you realize them all these things completely. And by the time the second phase begins, you start building on things from scratch. You start developing good habits. Uh, you start developing honesty towards yourself, and you start becoming more respectful towards others and traditions and systems. Now, what exactly happens in the third phase? In the third phase, what happens is you start to see that things are normalizing a bit, but it has not normalized. It will not normalize now. Now, what does it mean? Normalizing a bit, but not normalize. It means now you will slowly start to see the results of your hard work. But it will finally happen at the end of the third phase. So now the results will gradually start coming, which is also good and bad, because if you did not work hard, now the results will be really bad. Generally, people say the second phase is the worst. But at times, the third phase can be even more difficult. But generally, what happens? People realize in the first phase, they work hard in the second, and then therefore, the third phase is relatively easier, better, smoother. So now it will depend on how did you work in the last 5 to 6 years when Saturn was in Capricorn and then Aquarius. Because then now what will happen is you will be able to reap the fruits. And suppose you realized that yes, I have to do something alone. Like, maybe somebody would help you in studying. You are a student, but now they didn't help you anymore. Now they don't help you anymore. So now you started studying yourself. So now you will see, you will get good marks, your grades will improve, you will have better recognition in the society. In general, things will be easier, okay, for you. Now, but if you didn't study, you were cheating, and you were doing wrong things to get more marks. Now you will see that things are becoming even more worse. Okay. So therefore, if you see that things are not as good as it should have been, then it most likely means you have not worked on building your base. So there is some mistake that you did in the second phase when Saturn was in Aquarius. So now it is time that you correct those mistakes. So the third phase is acceptance and recalibration. So in the second phase, as I said for Pisces moon sign. So I said that in the second phase, you have to accept gradually and you have to know your limitations. But the third phase for you, Aquarius moon sign, means you are completely aware of your limitations and you exactly work as per them. Okay. Now, what does it mean to work as per limitations? I gave the example for Pisces moon sign. I will give the same example to you. Suppose you are a software engineer and you want to start your company, but you are only good at coding. You are not good at management. You are not good at sales, marketing, advertising, and all this. So then you have to hire somebody. You cannot do everything alone. Okay. So now you have to join bits and pieces of the puzzle of your life together, and you have to bring everything together. You have to build. You have already built the systems, but now you have to refine them. You have to revisit them. You have to reiterate them. It is like you have to become a bit like agile. Okay. So therefore, if you feel that Sadesati is still difficult, like if you keep feeling in the next 2 to 3 years till 2028 February, then you have to realize that my recalibration is not proper. So you have to recalibrate. So if there is something which you ignored in the last 5 years, you have to now sort them out. Now it is the best time. So now it's the process where you clean up things and you have to check what is going on in your life. Why are you not progressing? What is wrong exactly in your life? Okay, so once you keep seeing all this, then you will actually know. And most importantly, now if everything is good, everything is fine, everything is nice in your life, you have to maintain that at least for the next 3 years. Very rarely does it happen that by the end of the second phase everything is nice. It does not happen generally, but suppose it happens, you go 6 months, 1 year, everything is good in your life, then your challenge will be not to screw it up, because then what will happen is later on you will regret, you will repent, you will lament, and you might have to do everything again from scratch. Okay, so if you have achieved something, then maintain it, work hard in silence, and then you will gradually get the fruits and the results. Okay, so in general this time should be a bit relaxing for you provided you have worked hard in the last 5 years. Okay, otherwise this can be the most daunting period that you have had, but if it is daunting, then don't worry, work hard and it will be nice. Okay, so thank you so much, and in case you want to know more about Sadesati, then you can watch my other videos. I will put some videos down in the description section. All right, thank you so much. Please take care, all four ascendants, moon signs. Jai Siya Ram.